Hello, I'm CrochetMeira, and this is the crochet tutorial on how to crochet your own little Hehetmon plush. The dimensions are about 6 inches by 3 inches, and yeah, I hope you have fun. So the materials we're going to need to crochet the Hehetmon is a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. You can of course upsize if that's something you're more comfortable with. Just know that if you use a different size of crochet hook, the dimensions of the project will be different depending on the hook you use. You're also going to need some scissors, a stitch marker, because we'll be crocheting continuously. You're more than welcome to do the slip stitch method if you're comfortable with that, but for this tutorial I'll be using a stitch marker to count the rounds or to signify the start of the rounds. You're going to need just a regular needle to sew the pieces together, as well as to use for to sewing the black yarn onto the face. And you're going to need some pins just to like pin the flower to the top of Hehetmon's head to help you like keep it in place while you sew the flower on. You're also going to need some polyfill stuffing to stuff the body and the head. As for yarn, you just need white yarn for the body. For this project, I use Pound of Love Lion brand. You're more than welcome to use any type of brand of yarn, but if you want the exact dimensions of the project, I use Lion brand. And then you don't have to like stick with the same brand for the flower. But yeah, just make sure to have yellow yarn or like any type of color yarn you want for the petals, and a brown yarn for the base of the flower. So to start off, we're gonna start making the head, and in the pattern it says MC6, so that's just, you just start with a magic circle and single crochet 6 in that circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just going to place my crochet hook in that first single crochet we did, tighten my yarn, place my stitch marker so I know what's going to be the first stitch of the row, and I single crochet. So we just did row 1, we're going to start row 2, and that's increasing in each stitch so that we can end up with a total of 12. So for the second row, I just did my single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch for my increase. Now we have 2. In the next stitch, single crochet, and single crochet again in that same stitch. Now we have 4. In the next stitch, single crochet, and then single crochet again. Now we have 6 total. In the next stitch, single crochet, and again for the increase, that's 8. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in that same stitch, 10. The next one, single crochet, and single crochet in that same stitch, that's 12. Let's start row 3. Row 3 is going to be a single crochet and then an increase. So this is my first single crochet of row 3. In the next one, in the next stitch, it's an increase. And that's 3. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet in that same stitch. Now we have 6. And you're going to keep repeating that until you end up with 18 for row 3. We're going to start row 4. Row 4 is 2 single crochet and then an increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then the third one, and then we single crochet in that same stitch for the increase. Let's do that again. 1 single crochet, the second single crochet, and then the third single crochet, and we single crochet in that same stitch for the fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then the increase. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. Whoops. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. And then the last one. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. That's row 4. Row 5, we're gonna single crochet 3 and then increase to end up with 30. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then increase. That's 5. One single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, then that increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. And you just keep doing that until the end of the row, and you end up with 30 stitches for row 5. For row 6, it'll be 4 single crochet and then an increase, so that we can end up with 36. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry. Hey Google, stop. Sorry, that was my Google alarm. Where was I? Oh yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm gonna increase. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. Okay, so for rows 7 to 13, it's just a single crochet of 36 each row. So let's start that. Place my marker. I'm going to show you a quick little trick, and then I'm going to cut to the next part. This is just my little trick on how I count my rows. So first I'm going to do a few. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to, if I know I'm going to crochet a lot of rows of the same thing, I kind of, so this is the 7th row, right? The hole beneath, it doesn't matter where, I just kind of push my crochet hook through to get the, if you remember our little tail from our magic circle, I like to pull that through right below where, for this one, I like to pull it right below my 7th row. That way I don't really have to spend all my time counting the rows I did, in case I ever lose my spot. Like if I'm crocheting for a while and I suddenly can't really remember how many rows I just did, and I'm too lazy to count from the very beginning which row I'm on, I like to just pull my yarn through the hole right below my starting row so that it's easier for me to count from there. So I just finished row 7, and my little marker of yarn right here shows that I just completed the first row of that single crochet of 36 out of the 7 total. So that means I need to do 6 more. This is gonna take a bit, so I'm just gonna cut it right here and fast forward. Okay, so I just finished the last row of single crochet of 36, going from our marker. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're gonna start decreasing. So we're gonna go from 36 to 30. Let me just start it. So for this row 14, it's gonna be 4 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm gonna decrease by going through the front loops, the 2 front loops, pulling my yarn through. That's my decrease. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do that 5 more times to end up with 30. 3, 4, and then decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 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 decrease. Row 15, we're gonna do a single crochet of 3 and then a decrease, so we can end up with 24. So 1, 2, 3, decrease. 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 And then our last row decrease for row, 16? Row 16, it's going to be 2 single crochet and then a decrease, so we can end up with 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whoops, and then 18. I'm just gonna try and pull this tail back inside. And then to finish off, this one, I slip stitch into the next stitch. Then I'm gonna try to leave a long tail because we're gonna use the tail to sew it to the body. Pull the yarn through. And then in the next, you see that's where we slip stitch. In the next stitch, I go from the back so I can pull the yarn through the front. And we just did the head. So we're gonna start the arms. As you can see, I have one finished right here. So to start an arm, we're gonna magic circle and single crochet 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for row 2, we're going to increase in each stitch so we get 12. So I'm going to do my single crochet in that same stitch. So I get 2. Single crochet in the next stitch, and then again in that same stitch. That's 4. Single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in that same stitch again. That's 6. Single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in that same stitch. That's 8. Single crochet in the next stitch, and again in that same stitch. That's 10. And the last one, single crochet, and again in that same stitch. That's 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from rows 3 to 7, we're gonna single crochet 12. So that's a total of 12 rows. So let's start that. This is row 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you remember my little trick to keep track of rows, I'm gonna go in the hole right below our row 3, pull the yarn through, and that's gonna be my little marker for the amount of rows, so it's easier for me to keep track. Okay, that's our row 3 of 12. I'll cut here and I'll come back after I do 4 more rows. Okay, so I just finished the 5th row of our single crochet at 12. And as you can see from our little marker, that's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we count from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so row 8. We're gonna decrease 6 times, so we end up back with 6 single crochet. So that was my first decrease, my second decrease, third decrease, fourth decrease, fifth decrease, and finally our 6th decrease. Just going to remove this real quick. Then I'm going to take some stuffing and stuff the center, or stuff through the hole. You can stuff it lightly, you can stuff it till it's firmly packed, that's up to you. Yeah, I like to compare and squeeze a little bit just to make sure they're both uniform. And then if you notice in the pattern, we're going to single crochet the opening closed. So since we have 6, to single crochet it closed, we're going to go, so that's our decrease, right? We're going to go in the next stitch and try to slide our crochet hook through. So first stitch and then the last stitch from the previous row, we're going to try and put our crochet hook through both of them. Oh, sorry. There we go. And then we're going to single crochet. That's our first one. Our second one in the next stitch and the one right behind it. That's our second. And then the last one, that's our third. And that's how we single crocheted it closed. And you will notice that there are 3 stitches. Cut the yarn. You don't have to do a long tail because we're not sewing it to the body. We're going to single crochet it to the body, kind of like what we did with the Hehetmon keychains, if you followed along with that tutorial too. But let's start on the legs. So for the legs, we're going to make 2. Our first leg, magic circle and single crochet 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Row 2, it's an increase in each stitch to get that 12. So that was my first single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet in the same stitch to get 2, single crochet in that next stitch, and do that again in the same stitch for 4, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in that same stitch, that's 6, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in that same stitch, that's 8, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in that same stitch, that's 10, and last one, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in that same stitch, that's 12. And all you, don't finish off, just cut the yarn and pull it through. And that's our first leg. Second leg, magic circle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. There it is. 1, 2, next one, single crochet in that next stitch, in the same stitch, that's 6, single crochet in the next stitch, and then again in the same stitch, that's 8, single crochet in the next stitch, and again in the same stitch, that's 10, single crochet in the next stitch, and again in that same stitch, that's 12. The next step we're going to do is we're going to join the legs together. So from your second leg, do not cut the yarn, just chain 4. So that was my first chain, second chain, third chain, fourth chain. I'll remove the stitch marker real quick. Okay, so that's 4 chains on our second leg, from our second leg. Notice how the second row from our first leg, that was the 12th stitch. Go into the next stitch from it. Insert your hook and pull the yarn through. Stitch marker, because this is our new start of the round. Single crochet 1. And we're gonna single crochet around the whole thing to end up with 32 single crochets. So that was 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Okay, so go into that chain, and that's our 13th single crochet. What I like to do after I put it in, I tug on that tail from the first leg that we just cut and pulled through. How did I do this again? Yeah. So in the first chain, put your crochet hook, and I like to lay the tail from the first leg like over the hook, just so I could kind of anchor it there when I start single crocheting more, and give it a good tug. So now notice the hole's not as prominent over here. That little gap from before, it's not prominent anymore. And we're just gonna kind of like hide the yarn as we crochet to anchor it more. So that was our 13th crochet. The second chain, that's 14. Go into the third chain, that's 15. Go into our fourth chain, that's 16. And then over here, you don't want to go in, you go into the next one. Not here, the next one. That's what, 17? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and then same thing again. That first chain, 29, second chain, 30, the third chain, 31, that last chain, 32. And that's how we connect the legs. So now we're going to start single crocheting 32 around from rows 4 to 15. So it's going to be 12 single crochets, or 12 rows of single crocheting 32. So this is row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I like to pull the tail through right below row 4, so I can have an easier time keeping track. Was it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. And I'm just gonna cut here, and the next part will be like after crocheting the next 11 rows. So I just finished the 12th row of the 32 single crochet, and going from our marker, we can count the rows. So 1, I don't know if you can see it, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Row 16. It's gonna be we're gonna decrease from 32 to 30, so it's gonna be 14 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, decrease on that 15. We're going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then decrease for that 15. Row 17, we're gonna go from 30 to 24. So that's a single crochet of, what is that? Single crochet 3 and then decrease. So 1, 2, 3, decrease 4. 1, 2, 3, decrease 4. 1, 2, 3, decrease on 4. 1, 2, 3, decrease 4. 1, 2, 3, decrease on 4. 1, 2, 3, decrease on 4. So that's 24. So row 18, we're gonna single crochet 2 and decrease to end up with 18 stitches for this row. So 1, 2, decrease, that's 3. 1, 2, decrease. 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 Next, we're going to single crochet the arms to the body. So for row 19, single crochet 1. In the pattern, we're going to single crochet 6, and then in the next 3 stitches, we're going to single crochet the arms to the body. So first single crochet, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Then you're going to pick up an arm. I kind of, the way it's angled, you can kind of see how it's this way. I want it so that when I single crochet the arm to the body, I want it where it kind of looks more natural. Because if you do it this way, it's gonna like, if you'll notice when you have it yourself in your arms, you want to place it in a way where it's kind of angled downward, like towards the body, instead of angled upward. You want it where this part's angled down, if that makes any sense. So this is our so for the next one, we just single crocheted 6. Remember the three single crochet? One, two, three, or sorry, like this. 1, 2, 3. Put your crochet hook through there. It's a little loose, so we're gonna be like pulling tight on the tail at the same time. So in that one stitch, you're gonna pull both through, and that's 7. Give this a good tug. For the next one, insert the hook in the next one, and notice how the tail, I place it where when I pull my yarn to finish my single crochet, it's like anchored. And then the last one. See? Now it's connected. Give this a good tug. You can like keep doing it if you want to continue anchoring it. So 2. Whoops. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. And then the last 3, the other arm, putting it through. One, 2, and then the last one, 3. There you go. Let's just finish this off. Slip stitch in the next stitch. And then cut the yarn. You can leave it short because we're not using any of this yarn to sew to the body. Oh. There you go. Arms connected. It's gonna look a little funny, but yeah. Okay, so I just stuffed the head and the body, and we're gonna sew it on. Pull my yarn through our needle, our sewing needle, darning needle. I'm just gonna start around, which arm was it? This arm? Doesn't really matter, but just around one of the arms. And if you remember from my keychain video, the way I sew bodies, I go in a hole and I just slide it through the next one. And then I go back up where the yarn is coming from and slide it through the next hole. And it's just that constant back and forth motion between the top and bottom row. So find where the yarn's coming from, go in that same hole and slide out the next hole. Same thing up here. And just slide it through. And I'm gonna keep doing that the whole way around. I also like to make sure it's really, really tight as I do it so that it's super secure. Yeah, and then I'm gonna cut it short because I'm gonna use this yarn to anchor, to tie a knot with the flower later on. But yeah. Okay, next you wanna we're gonna do the face. So get your black yarn, just like enough to start sewing. I'm gonna start from I always come from the back, but basically from the bottom row, you want to count like 7 rows, starting with the spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna put my nail there just to help me remember. I think it's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. 7. Okay. So that's a little next hole. You don't want it too far from the side. Okay. So we're gonna count from here. 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna go diagonally up 2 rows. And we're gonna go under that yarn and pull up to create the eye. Next, we're gonna, from this point, count 1, 2, 3. You want it in that third space from the other eye. See? From here, 1, 2, that third space. And just like the other eye, count another 1, 2, third space. And go up 2 rows and do the same thing. And if it's a little off, you can always like keep it loose as you pull. So that could be the same. Oh, wait. The next one. There we go. Then you want to go 2 rows, or let me see. You want to skip this row and go down to the next one. Kind of like make it like in the same direction, or aligned around here. And you're going to count, you're going to go into the 4th hole. So from here, 1, 2, 3, go in the 4th hole, skip this row, go down the second one from this line, under, and pull down. Go back where you came from, and then enter from that corner of the lip and connect it on the other corner of the lip. Then pull your needle through. And for the blush marks, again, kind of are aligned near the eye. And this one you kind of just go right below. Right below. Same thing over here. Also, you don't want it like too tight. Not too loose, not too tight. There you go. Hehetmon's face. Okay, so we're going to start with the flower now. We're going to magic circle and single crochet 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to slip stitch it. Instead of using a stitch marker, we're going to slip stitch it to connect. Chain 1, and then single crochet in that same stitch. Whoops. And because for row 2 we're increasing in each stitch to get 14, we're going to do that again. So 2. In the next stitch, and then increase in that same stitch, that's 4. Single crochet in the next stitch, and again in that same stitch, that's 6. single crochet in the next stitch, and again in that same stitch, that's 8, single crochet in the next stitch, and again in the same stitch, that's 10, single crochet in the next stitch, and again in the same stitch, that's 12, and the last one, 14. Then you're going to insert your hook again. But this time with the yarn you're choosing for the flower petals. You're going to pull it through both loops and like tighten it up here. There you go. And then now we're going to start with the flower petals. So I'm going to cut this short real quick just so it's out of the way. In the pattern, we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to slip stitch, or I'm sorry. Yeah, after you chain 3, then we're going to do a triple crochet. So a triple crochet, you wrap the yarn around twice. And we're going to go in the next stitch. The next stitch. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Pull the yarn again through 2 loops, and then last 2 loops. And it's called a triple crochet because you go through it 3 times. And you're going to do a second triple crochet in that same stitch. Then you're going to chain 3 and slip stitch in the next stitch. Chain 3 again, and then triple crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to do that again. Chain 3 into the next stitch, chain 3 again, triple crochet 2 of them, whoops, in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. Another triple crochet in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, sorry. Slip stitch. And then chain 3, and then triple crochet in the next one. And you're basically going to keep doing this until you end up with 7 petals. The way I did my pattern, I just did 7 because when I saw Yosung's drawing, the one I saw had 7 petals, so I kind of just did it like, I based my pattern off of that. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Triple crochet. Triple crochet, chain 3, and then I go back where we first slip stitch, slip stitch, and then cut a long tail because we're going to sew it. There you go, your flower. And in the back, like to tie the strands together super tight. Then I tie a knot that connects the tail from the magic circle with whichever strand. And then I'm going to cut it short. Like, yeah. There you go. Then, with our pins, we're gonna place it, or pin the flower to Hehetmon's little head. The way I do it so that one of the, because it's an odd number, I do it where this one's in the center. And I place the pins in between the petals because that's where I'm going to I'm using the in-between of the petals to sew the flower to the head. So yeah, I'm going to just start pinning. Need one more. Like, you can try an eyeball sewing it to the head, but I just like using a pin so that it stays on without me having to like place my hand all the time like this while sewing. Okay, so oh no. Okay, like, you could start wherever. But yeah, wherever you pin it, just like start sewing where the yarn's connected. And like wherever your pins are placed, try to pull your needle through whichever hole it is. And you know how we slip stitch in between each petal? It leaves that little loop. What you're gonna do is pull your yarn through that little loop and like pull and go back in that hole you came from the very beginning. Oh. Make sure you're pulling really tight every time so that the flower is secured. It's like sewn tight and secured to the head. yeah, I think that's everything. And then remember that white tail from earlier? Just try to get your needle through so that it comes out the same hole your white tail is. Yeah, just pull super tight, make a tight knot. Use the scissors to like shove that in there. There you go. And there you have it. That's the tutorial on how to crochet your own little Hehetmon. I will have, the pattern is below in the description box as well as in my Instagram. You could also buy the PDF pattern on my Ravelry, which is also linked in my description box if you want to like support me in a small way. But yeah, I hope you had a lot of fun crocheting your own little Hehetmon. If you wanna, I also give permission to sell what you make using my patterns as long as you credit me. Just don't sell the written patterns as your own, because the pattern is like, it's basically all my hard work. And I would hate if someone were to pass off my work as their own. So yeah, you can sell what you make, but don't sell the written pattern itself. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. And yeah, thank you.